Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And you're able to see the slides on the screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, welcome to today's session on group discussions. Like all other communication skills that we are discussing in this workshop, a group discussion is also something that you will very likely need to participate in at some point in your career. That is why we're just covering the basics for you right now, so that even when you are asked to participate in a group discussion, you will know what it is that you need to do there. Give me a second. So, this is the agenda for these two sessions that we'll have today and tomorrow. We look at what is a group discussion. Why do we have these group discussions in the first place? What are the different kinds of discussion topics that you will be given for a group discussion? Are there any rules that you're supposed to follow when you're participating in a group discussion? What does it mean to lead a group discussion? And how is it any different from participating in a group discussion? These are the basic things that we will cover. So, group discussions are broadly of two kinds. In these sessions, we'll be talking about group discussions in job interviews. GDs are used in job interviews in order to test interpersonal skills. In addition to these GDs, there are also FGDs or focused group discussions. These are used in market research or social sciences research. These are used generally to find out why people buy some things, why people don't buy some things, what are people's nature, thoughts, and motivations as consumers. Okay, this is generally what a focus group discussion is about. It can also be about, there can be FGDs in psychology as well. Why do people act in a certain manner? Maybe not as consumers, but as agents. Why do people act in a certain manner? As you can see, the scope of an FGD is somewhat broader rather than the scope of a GD in a job interview. In these sessions, we'll be talking about GDs and job interviews because that is the kind of GD that someone will have to, at some point in their career, engage in. Okay? Right. So, when you are given a group discussion as a task for hiring, they are intended to measure your interpersonal skills. How well do you work in a team? Can you negotiate well with others? Can you work together with others? If there are conflicts between two people, are you able to resolve that conflict amicably? All of these are interpersonal skills that you will need to have when you are working as part of an organization. Unless you want to say something or you want to like point out something, or you're not able to see the slides now, is everything all right?
Yes, ma'am. It's all right.
Okay, so unless you want to say something or you want to point out something like my voice is not clear or something, please keep your mics muted, okay? Otherwise, there'll be a lot of interference. Ritika, you have a question? Please go on.
Yes, ma'am. I'm asking when will be the videos uploaded so that we could like it watch in YouTube.
So I can't tell you about that decisively because that's not done by our team, okay? So there's a course team, then there's a different team for technological support. So this will be the uploading part will be done by a different team, okay? But generally it's done after the workshop sessions are done. Right now, we're still going on with the workshop sessions, right? The
Yeah,
workshop is still
in the
in full
last in
force.
the last session we had, only one of the videos was uploaded. So
Yeah, so they'll be progressively done. After today's session is done and tomorrow's session is also done, they'll be progressively uploaded. As soon as they're uploaded, you'll get the updated playlist link as well.
okay, via mail we'll receive that.
No, I think the playlist link is going to be given to you in your course portal.
Okay, okay,
Like if you are an English 1 student, you should also receive your playlist link in the course portal.
okay, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. In addition to your interpersonal skills, a GD can also measure how well you listen to others. Oftentimes, in a conversation, we don't really listen to others. We only just wait for our turn to speak. Actually, that is not how you're supposed to work together as a team. If you are operating as a part of a larger organization or a team, okay, if you're working as a part of a larger organization of a team, you are supposed to listen to others and then integrate or consider their opinions before attempting an answer of your own. So, GD can also measure your listening skills. It can look at how good you are at communicating the core of your message. So, you should not be very verbose. That is, you shouldn't just be talking blah blah blah. You should be able to communicate it in a crisp and clear manner. Are you able to do this well? Because a GD has a certain time limit in place. So, unless you're able to communicate your message effectively, crisply, and clearly, you will not be able to fare well in a GD. Your language, whether or not you realize this, will always give you away. So, when you talk as a part of a group discussion, your listeners will be able to very clearly gauge or measure how knowledgeable you are about some topic, how creative you are in your use of language, and how spontaneous you are in your responses. All of these will be laid out in the open. So you'll have to be very careful with your use of language in a group discussion. In addition to all of this, by participating in a GD, your hiring manager or your hiring panel will be able to very clearly see whether you fit in with the company. There's this thing called a value fit, which is where your values or the ideas that you hold dear to yourself align with the ideas and the goals and the vision that the company upholds. This is what is called as a value fit. By participating in a group discussion, you will also give away whether or not you are a good value fit for that company. Broadly, there are three kinds of GD topics. The first is called a general topic. This is something that is in relation to general knowledge. Okay? So there'll be a real situation on ground. It might not be immediately in relation to you, but this is something that everybody will have some amount of knowledge on. It's a general topic. It relates to your general knowledge. For example, small businesses are an important lifeline of India's cities and need to be supported more. India lives in the heart of its 20 somethings, its young people. So, this is a real topic, a real concern that you can further speak about. It relates to your general knowledge, like I said. Then there are argumentative topics or a debatable topic, as it is also known as. There is no right answer or a wrong answer in an argumentative or a debatable topic. Qualified professionals should look for opportunities in India instead of migrating abroad. Some people will think that is correct. Some people will think that is not correct. So you can take your stance on this topic. A university education is not worth pursuing in India today. Some people will say, yes, it's not very worthwhile because you need to start working early and have as much of working knowledge as is possible. Some people will say, no, that is not the case. A university education is still very valuable. This is known as an argumentative or a debatable topic. Then there are also abstract topics. Abstract topics are not about your general knowledge because they're not talking about any real fact on the ground. They're not about anything concrete. They're more conceptual. Okay? For example, change is the only constant in existence. It doesn't specify what kind of change, doesn't specify what kind of constancy we're talking about. But we have a topic which is largely conceptual and abstract in nature, right? Like when you say an abstract noun, it's about an idea. Likewise, this is also about ideas. The grass is always greener on the other side. What grass? What green? It doesn't really tell you about any of these things. So you're free to interpret these abstract topics in relation to any concrete reality. But there is an essential idea that you will have to speak about if you are given an abstract topic. Let's look at some of these sample topics. Too much of thinking leads to the death of doing. What kind of topic do you think that is? It's an abstract topic. The youth of India needs to focus on gaining skills more than knowledge. What kind of topic is this? The youth of India need to focus on, it should be need to focus, not needs to focus, on gaining skills more than knowledge. What kind of topic do you think that is? Is that an abstract topic or a general topic or a debatable topic? It's a debatable topic. Yes, very correct. Companies should make working from office optional. What kind of topic that is?
Debatable.
Yes, debatable topic again. Divestment of public sector companies is a good step for India. Government giving up control over greater stakes of public sector companies. Is that good? Is it good that there are more private actors stepping in to what used to be the public sector? Is that a good step or a bad step? What kind of a topic is this?
Debatable.
It can be debatable, but can it also not be general? Debatable or general? Yes, that is more correct. It can be debatable, it can also be considered a general topic because you're actually talking about facts on the ground for which you'll need some amount of general knowledge. The brain drain has caused more harm than good for India. This is also either a general topic or a debatable topic. The battle against climate change depends on the youth of the world. This is also either a general topic or a debatable topic. It depends on the kind of stance that you take. Okay? If somebody says that is not the case, if there is somebody there who says, no, the youth should not be given the entire burden of battling climate change, then it would become a debatable topic. Otherwise, it is a general topic. I hope this is clear to you. Just giving you a couple of examples so that you can get to see what are the possible ways in which you'll be asked to talk in a group discussion? Any questions? Clarifications necessary? Okay, I'll assume not. Right. So, what are the rules in a group discussion? For a group with roughly 8 to 9 members, you can usually expect your time limit to be something like 10 minutes. So, there'll be a panel of judges who will read out the topic or the case. A topic can also be a case or a caselet. It's based on any specific imagined situation which will be described to you in greater detail. We'll get to see some of those case based topics as we go along. So, the panel will read out your topic for you, you being you and your group. Let's assume that takes 1 minute. Then there will be one member of the team who will lead the discussion. Now, what does leading the discussion mean? They will open the discussion and they will set the context for further conversation or discussion. The leader's statement will take 1 minute, approx. Right? Now, let's say this is an 8-member team. Each of the 7 members will get 1 minute each. And then at the very end, the leader will have to take a minute to wrap up or summarize the discussion. This is the structure of a group discussion, so to speak. First, your topic will be read out to you. If you are the one who's leading the discussion, you will start the discussion. Each group member will speak in his or her turn after that. And at the end, the leader will have to summarize all the points that have been raised in this discussion. This is how it goes. If you are leading a discussion, what are the things that you should take care of? Especially because a group discussion is not just about leading. Don't think that the leader's role is more important than a participant's role. If you think that your role is more important than any of your teammates' roles, then you will immediately appear as somebody who likes to speak more than you like to listen. And that is a negative thing in a group discussion. That should not be the case. You should volunteer to lead a discussion only if you have a meaningful point to say. You should also remember that your function is not to know everything about the topic. Your function is to be able to facilitate further discussion. It's like opening a door. You're opening a door and allowing others to pass through that door. Okay? So, your role here is to ensure that all the people who are speaking after you have a set direction or context of discussion. How do you start in a polite manner if you are leading a group discussion? You start by saying, with the permission of the chair and the group, may I volunteer to start the discussion, or may I start the discussion? Okay? Then you read out your topic statement, which is what you have to say about the topic. Then you say, what are some other general opinions that are there about this topic? You can also further substantiate your views. And then you can open up the forum for further discussion. I invite my teammates to take the discussion forward. Throughout the discussion, that is, when others are speaking, you should take notes. Because in the end, you will have to summarize all of this. As a leader, that is a responsibility that you are shouldering. In the summary, you do not have to add any new points. You just have to furnish an effective conclusion using all of the topics that your team members have brought forth, right? So, all the things that you note down, quickly build a summary out of that and use that to conclude. Remember that your role is that of a facilitator. What is a facilitator? For example, in this discussion, in this session, I am a facilitator. I'm trying to tell you what a group discussion is, but I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm only trying to bring you into this space, this mind space, where you understand what this is about and you can also possibly participate in a group discussion in due course of time. This is what facilitation is. So you're kind of enabling others to participate. Right. I need a quick drink of water. Please go through what you see on this slide, which is what an effective opening in a group discussion will look like. I'll join you in 3 or 4 seconds. Okay, let's assume that the topic that we have for today's group discussion is small businesses are an important lifeline of India's cities and need to be supported more. As you're probably aware, when the pandemic hit, it was these small businesses that suffered the most. The more established organizations, the larger corporations, did not face the kind of challenges that these small businesses, which operate on a very face to face basis, had to suffer. So you can interpret the question in that context. This is how you set the direction for further discussion. So, if you are the person who's taking the lead in this discussion, you would say, I would like to take the lead in this discussion with the permission of the chair and that of my teammates. The pandemic affected the small businesses in India most adversely. Now, what are the small businesses that you're talking about? Tea stalls, tiffin stalls, tailors, craftsmen, daycare services, beauty parlors, all of these are considered as small businesses which had to bear the brunt of the lockdown and the pandemic. Remote work is an option that is available only for the middle and the upper middle classes. If that is the case, then how can we ensure that small businesses can be disaster resilient? What kind of support systems can we envisage for these small businesses? I look forward to hearing everyone's views on this, or I invite my team to bring forth their own opinions on this topic. As a leader, this is how you give your opening statement. Is that clear to everybody? Now, can somebody take on the role of a leader and look at this slide? You don't have to come up with a separate opening statement. Just look at the content on the slide, but I want you to deliver it imagining that you are the leader in a group discussion. Anybody who'd like to volunteer? same content that you see on the slide. Anybody who would like to volunteer? Can you try playing the role of a leader in a group discussion using this content? Nobody would like to volunteer?
Ma'am, with the permission of the chair and the panel discussion, I would like to open up on the small businesses are more important lifeline of India's cities and need to be supported more.
Okay, very good. So thank you, Saravanan, for that. This is how you would give an opening statement. Okay, so remember all the things that we discussed here. How do you lead a discussion? How do you start the discussion? How do you set the tone of a discussion? All of these things are operationalized in this slide. So I also want you to please make a note of these turns of phrases. How do you politely phrase something? Even when Saravanan started speaking, he very clearly said, with the permission of the chair and that of my team, I would like to take a lead in this discussion. Okay? That's very important in a group discussion. These polite turns of phrases are part of the group discussion. Maybe you're saying the same thing, but you're phrasing it less politely. It would not really work in your favor in a group discussion. So make sure that you're looking at all of these phrasings as well. Similarly, I look forward to hearing everyone's views on this, or I invite my teammates to speak further on this. All of these are very polite phrasings which will allow you to excel in a group discussion. How is participating in a group discussion different from leading a group discussion? When you're participating in a group discussion, you have a slight advantage because you don't need to immediately start talking, right? So even if you are the first speaker, you'll still get some time to collect your thoughts. So if you do not immediately have anything meaningful to say, you would choose to participate rather than to lead. There might be some occasions where you feel as if nobody is taking the lead. It looks like the entire team is somewhat reluctant or hesitant to take the lead. If that is the case, then take initiative to take on that leadership role. That shows your character, actually. When nobody else is taking the lead, quickly collect your thoughts, make sure that you have a meaningful point to share, and then take the lead. Set the tone for further discussion. You know how everybody claims I have leadership skills in their resumes. This is a nice way to demonstrate that you do have leadership skills, okay? But you do it instead of saying that you have leadership skills. Now, when you are given a topic, there'll be a central concern of the topic. If you're talking about small businesses, for instance, you can interpret that in relation to how to make small businesses disaster resilient. If there is an actual problem, how do we support them? You can also, if you're one of those very marketing minded people, you'll also think, how can we expand operations? How can small businesses increase their revenue, for instance? Because we do know that small businesses function on a very face to face, day to day basis. So, how can they increase their revenue? That's another way to approach the topic. So, you have the option to listen to the topic and pick out its central concern, right? And then you stick to that central concern. Every topic will have these central concerns outlined in the topic itself. So you jot down the main points. What are the central concerns of this topic? Sometimes a case can be much longer than a topic. Here, the topic is just one sentence. A case can be for several sentences. So, if it is a case, you'll have to make sure that you are more diligent in jotting down the main points. Then you can structure your argument in your mind. You decide that you are going to approach the topic in a given manner. For example, if you're taking the marketing angle to it, you stick to that angle. If you're taking the disaster resistance angle to it, then stick to that angle, right? You start with a clear and emphatic, decisive topic statement. How do you say? I strongly believe that we should take decisive steps in the direction of making small businesses disaster resilient. How can we take these steps? That is the question. It is preferable to stick to your main points to either one or two because you have very limited time. You get 1 minute to talk, right, as a participant. So make either one argument or two arguments in relation to the chief concerns of the topic. This forms the body of your talk, let's say, or your presentation. After making these arguments, you need to conclude by summarizing your stance. Was it with you guys that I discussed the position, reason, example, position method?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So you are using a very similar method here. Your clear and emphatic topic statement is the position that you take. The one or two arguments that you then give can be considered as something like the reasons for your topic statement. These are my arguments. In relation to my topic statement, these are the arguments that I would like you to consider. Then you conclude. There are no examples here, but you can give examples here as well if you prefer to do so. Then you conclude by once again restating your position. That is what I wanted you to notice. You start by stating your position and then you conclude by once again restating your position. If possible, you can open up new questions that can help the discussion continue further along. Okay? This is the structure of your argument if you are participating in a group discussion. This is called a case-led. Remember we spoke about case-based topics? This is an example of a case-based topic. Let me pause here for a second. Is everything okay? Are you able to follow me? I see that a lot of people are leaving the meeting. I'm just a little concerned, so I thought I would ask. Everything clear to you? Are you guys really tired after a long day? Do you want to talk about something?
It's clear, ma'am.
It's clear. Okay. Do you want to take 2 minutes break? Are you tired? Let me ask you, do you have another session at 6? Is everybody really stressed? Do you have another session at 6?
Yes, ma'am.
I thought so. Okay, so we'll keep this very light then. Let's not think too much about this. Let's not worry too much about this, and let's not, burden ourselves with a lot of information. So this is very light, right? Sometimes you need to participate in a group discussion. In a group discussion, you can either be a leader or a participant. Both are very valuable roles. But if you are taking on the role of a leader, make sure that you're leaving sufficient space for your participants as well. It shouldn't look like you're there to swallow the mic. Either way. I want the mic. I will only have the mic. I will not let anybody else have the mic. That should not be the case. Okay? Be very empathetic. Be very respectful towards others in a group discussion. Now we discussed three kinds of group discussion topics. They were general topics, debatable topics, and abstract topics. This is our fourth kind of topic, a case-based topic. A case-based topic describes a situation to you. You need to imagine yourself in a situation and then answer the question. You are the senior manager of a software firm. You're not, but you'll have to imagine that you are. Last year, your company had initiated a fast track plan, a plan to speed up the company's development efforts and rapidly increase market lines by introducing one product into the market per month. Every month, your company is releasing a new product into the market. So your R&D lab has been able to rise up to this challenge. Every month, they're all ready to put out a new topic. And this has been going on for the past 11 months. However, the quality of the products has suffered a lot. Because every month you're putting out a new product. You are prioritizing quantity over quality. So quality has suffered. The second problem is that you are unable to train employees fast enough to work efficiently. And all the departments are overwhelmed. Moreover, since the sales and technical specialists haven't had time to develop the expertise needed to help buyers before the sale or support them after the sale, too many customers either buy the wrong product or buy the right product but then can't get knowledgeable help when they need it, help or support when they need it. So looking at this case, there is a lot of information here. You will have to immediately narrow in on what are the chief concerns of this case. 1. Quality has suffered. 2. Unable to train employees fast enough. 3. Customer support is a grave challenge because you're not able to train your sales and technical specialists. Right? Because you have very little time for training. Every month you're releasing a new product. So there are these three main issues at hand. As soon as you hear the case, you should be able to identify, yes, this is a problem, this is a problem, and this is a problem. Discuss the situation with your team members and plan the next course of action. Because in this imagined scenario, you are the senior manager of that software firm. Look at this underlined slide. All of this underlining simply reveals to you what the chief concerns of this case are. So if you are just listening to the case in a group discussion, sometimes you will not be able to see the case on a slide. You'll have to listen very carefully to the panel member who is reading out the case. And you'll have to jot down the main points. First main point here is the quality of the products has suffered. Second main point here is unable to train employees fast enough. Third main point here is sales and technical specialists haven't had time to develop the expertise. Then, what are the problems? Too many customers buy the wrong product. Or they buy the right product, but they can't get knowledgeable customer support when they need it. These are the problems that you'll have to solve after having a fruitful discussion with your team. These are some useful phrases. You will need these phrases if you are trying to make a point in a respectful manner. I would like to note here that. I would like to point out that. One point that I want to make here is that all of these are phrases that draw attention to the opinion that you are bringing to the table or to the suggestion that you are bringing to the table. Let's say you want to disagree with somebody. Respectfully disagreeing with somebody is an art. You'll have to figure out how to do it. I beg to differ from, let's say, Saravanan. Saravanan, I beg to differ, but. Or because. Why do I beg to differ? Or I'm trying to say, I'm sorry. Kritika, I'm sorry, but I must disagree with this because I have a reason, right? So I follow that up with my reason. Let's say I'm agreeing with somebody. I second your opinion. I second your opinion, Rajdeep, and I would also like to add that. Don't just second somebody's opinion, add something of your own as well. I'm glad you mentioned that, Kunal. Why am I glad that you mentioned that? Because it relates to something that I had wanted to bring up. Right? So you are thinking about something that another person mentioned, which is related to the point that you yourself would like to bring to this discussion. You want to agree with somebody, but you don't fully agree with them. You have some reservations. Reservations are questions or doubts, okay? You're not in 100% agreement. If that is the case, then you say something like, I see where you're coming from. Ritwija, I see where you're coming from. And I agree, but there's a but at the end of it, right? But there is something that I do not agree with you. What is that something? I follow it up with that particular point on which I disagree with Ritwija. That may be valid, but only in certain circumstances. Prakriti, that may be valid, but I feel like that would be valid only in certain circumstances. So there are other circumstances in which that might not be valid. So my job here is to point out what those circumstances are. Let's say I want to interrupt somebody. Somebody is speaking and I for whatever reason I'm trying to interrupt them. Now let me just tell you this beforehand. Interrupting somebody during a group discussion is not something that is advisable. If possible, you wait your turn to speak. Okay? But if you must interrupt somebody, Varun, can I add something here? Right? You kind of phrase it like a question. Rather than butting in rudely, you ask, can I add something here, Varun? I would like to add on something to this. What is that something that I would like to add on? I follow up my statement with that something which I would like to add on to it. Okay? These are all very useful tools. Phrases are conversational tools. Remember that, okay? All phrases help you communicate your ideas better. They're also very, very useful tools in a professional context where politeness is held in very high regard. So I hope you understood this. Make a note of these statements because if and when you need to have a discussion, all of these statements will be of very much help. This is a further example of a case study based topic. You are the area manager of the Indian vertical of a world famous USA based content streaming platform. It has been 3 years since the firm has launched its operations in India. However, there are still not enough adapters in the local market. People are not signing up to this content streaming platform. What do you do in that case? Upon consultation with your research team, you've concluded that two things you've concluded. The content provided on the streaming service is not local enough to attract Indian consumers. That is one problem. The cost of the streaming service per month is too high and is not affordable for the average Indian consumer. Pricing is too high. That's why people are not signing up. What should the next course of action for the company be? How would you discuss this with your team members? This is your case. If this is the case, then let's look at the structure or the shape that a possible response would take. Immediately, you need to identify the chief concerns of the case. Two major problems. The first problem is lack of local content. Second problem is affordability. Then you are trying to fix these two problems. So you suggest to improve affordability while still breaking even, the company could explore a mobile-only plan for a much cheaper price. Let's first introduce the streaming platform only on mobile phones. Let's put up a mobile-only plan for a cheaper price. Given that most people use their mobile devices for entertainment, this might be able to improve the rate of signing up, right? To improve lack of local content, the streaming service can collaborate with budding content creators on social media to come up with original content with low production cost. So there are lots of content creators in all the local languages or the regional languages of India. So if that is the case, then by reaching out to these local content creators, this streaming platform can curate content with a local flavor. And the production cost will also be rather low. By adopting these steps, this content streaming platform could possibly improve the rate of adoption among Indian consumers. Two suggestions that you give, and these suggestions form the body of the response. What are some things that you should not do in a group discussion? You don't just repeat something that has already been said by somebody. Make sure that you do not look indifferent or uninterested. While others are speaking, we should listen carefully, intently. You can also take notes, but you should not appear as if you're constantly just looking into your book. Okay? So you should try to look at others while they are speaking. You should try to actively receive their suggestions. You shouldn't look like what they are saying is unimportant to the discussion. This is part of acting in a polite manner. Don't just agree with somebody, you add something of your own. Do not try to dominate the group. This is a discussion, not a debate. Even if you are taking on the leader's role, do not think that you are more important than the team. Under no circumstance should you make any kind of personal attack, sexist attack, or casteist attack on any of your team members. You should remain respectful of others. This is not negotiable, okay? Working together as a team, you should not make any personal comments. You should not try to hurt people like that. Now, let's say you act in a very mature manner. You never make any of such comments. But somebody else makes such a comment to you. Obviously, you're going to be very, very hurt by it. Obviously, it's not going to be very easy for you to respond in a mature manner. Remember that you are not reacting, you are only responding. You should make an active effort to control yourself, even if somebody hurts you like this. Rest assured, it will not work in that person's favor. Politeness is a highly valued trait in a group discussion. So if they make any kind of biting personal attacks on you, it will diminish their value in front of the hiring panel. But as a contender, you should make sure that you are responding in a very mature, grounded manner. You should control your breathing, you should control your emotions, and you should only respond. You should not react to the person. Okay? So I'll stop here. I know that you have a session at 6 o'clock. So I don't want to take the whole time until 6. If you have any questions or clarifications or queries, please raise those queries right now. Any further explanation that you need?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, generally in group discussions, don't we use presentations and stuff?
In group discussions,
Yes, ma'am.
in group discussions, there is a chance that you will not get the time to make a presentation. Group discussions can be very, very spontaneous, Saronan. So, if there is the possibility for making a presentation, then you can count on that. But a group discussion is not by definition something that has a presentation in place. Let's say your group discussion is going to be very technical in nature, and your hiring manager is exactly what what the hiring panel is looking for, or the hiring team is looking for, a very technical kind of discussion. In those cases, they might give you some time to prepare a presentation. This is your discussion topic. We expect to have a presentation in place. If that is the case, then yes, your presentation will be accompanied by your oral presentation, will be accompanied by a PowerPoint presentation. If that is the case. But there can also be spontaneous topics. A group discussion can be very spontaneously conducted. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if it is the kind of group discussion where you need to make a presentation, then you should combine whatever knowledge you gain from today's and tomorrow's session along with your presentation skills knowledge. At the end of the day, all of these are communication skills. Right. Anything else? Are people joining the session thinking that this is the 6 o'clock session? Right. If that is all, I'll try to leave you like 5 minutes early today so that you also get the time to take a breath, have a drink of water, and prepare for your 6 o'clock session. I am assuming that you do not have any further queries?
No, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right then. Let's stop for today. I hope this session was useful for you. I hope that you'll retain some of this information so that if and when you need to participate or lead a group discussion, you'll be able to recollect some of the things that you learned here. And I genuinely hope that you'll be here for tomorrow's session as well, when we'll wind up our discussion on group discussions as well as our workshop sessions. Right. Thank you everybody for joining me today. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.